Hello everybody, if you're new to my channel, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. Today I thought it'd be fun to talk about the 5 luxury purses that are on my wish list. Now, I know that, it's not exactly the time for luxury, but I know that I really have enjoyed watching videos about just beautiful purses and bags and beautiful places. During this quarantine, we're at approximately the 1 month mark, and I've been watching videos about luxury travel and luxury bags and just all the pretty things that I can't have right now, and just almost as a form of escapism. And I thought that this would be fun for you guys to sort of, I don't know, listen to, think about, leave your wish list down in the comments below. Yeah, so anyways, I just wanted to acknowledge that before we get started, but I just want this to be a fun video. It's been fun for me just looking at all the bags online and thinking about how awesome it would be to have them. So I thought this would be fun for you guys. And if you love beautiful things and beautiful bags, I'd love your comments down below what's on your wish list. So with that being said, let's get started. One thing I just want to say for this video is I'm leaving out anything Hermes, like any like the Birkin or the Kelly. Like obviously I would love to have one of those, but those are like $10, $15, $20,000. And for that price I could buy everything else on the wish list. So while it would be awesome to have a Birkin, and if somebody was walking down the street and was like, "Hey Lana, would you like this Birkin?" I'd be like, "Oh gosh, let me think about that." Well, I guess I'd take it. So leaving that bag out that is just so far out of the realm of possible for me right now, let's focus on the things that are somewhat slightly possibly realistic within the next 5 years. So let's get into this. The first bag, of course, on my wish list is the medium double flap by Chanel. I would definitely like to have it in the lambskin with the gold hardware. Obviously it wouldn't say no to caviar, but I think the perfect one for me would be the lambskin with the gold hardware. Now I know that when it gets scratches you can buff it out, and obviously the caviar is a little bit harder wearing, but if I was going to have a Chanel bag, I would definitely baby it and would definitely treat it with all of the love and respect it deserves. I did a little bit of a look on Fashionphile, and I should just note I would obviously love it in the black, and if I for whatever reason was able to get 2 of them, I'd also love to have it in the beige Clair, possibly in a different size, but I am not making that purchase decision today. So for the beige Clair, I found one for just shy of $5,600 US on Fashionphile. And I have my notes right there, and I found a black one, a black caviar with silver hardware for $5,800, which was in excellent condition, and one that was in not as good condition but like still Chanel for $3,300 US. So the new ones, they don't really list their prices online, but I believe a new one would be approximately 6,000 US, and I seem to recall it being around 8,000 Canadian. So that's not happening anytime soon, but I would say that would be the #1 bag on my sort of dream wish list. So one bag that I would actually consider getting before the Chanel double flap. Now I will just say with the double flap, it's a classic bag, it's a beautiful bag. It's for sale today, it was for sale 5 years ago, it's gonna be for sale in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. There's no reason for me to rush to get it because 1, it is super expensive, and 2, because it's so classic, it's not going anywhere. But the 2017 Filagree medium bag by Chanel, again, is super, super beautiful. I love it with the pink and with the black piping. I think it's just cute and feminine and fresh and so pretty. A little trendy, but still very classic. Now they had one on Rebag that went for $3,100 US, and they have one on Fashionphile that they're asking $3,700 US for. And again, the conditions of the bag are different. This is just to give a ballpark on pricing. That's all black. Fashionphile doesn't have the black and pink one. But if I happen to have $3,700, burning a hole in my pocket and they happen to have a pink one, I would definitely at least think about it. I do think it's a beautiful bag. The only reason I would possibly buy that bag prior to getting the double flap is because I really just like that color from 2017. So it's a little bit rarer, a little bit harder to find compared to something that's always in stock and always available. Obviously for the pink one, I would have to get it in the pre-loved market, which would leave me looking at really only a handful of reputable pre-loved sellers. I know if Julia Rose Boston had one, I'd be interested. If Fashionphile had one, I'd be interested. But not in a position to buy that right now. But again, just a beautiful bag. And if they did come out with a new color that was cream instead of pink, I would also definitely take a look at that. I just love that contrast between the light and the black, and I just love how beautiful and feminine that bag is, and I think that bag will stand the test of time very well. So the next bag is something that's a lot more in the realm of possible, and that is the Givenchy Antigona. Now that bag, the sizing is really misleading. So personally, I like a medium size bag. So when I looked at the names, you know, mini, and I really have no interest in a mini bag, but mini, small, medium, I was like, oh, of course I would want the medium. But you know, through videos like this one and through reviews, I've been able to learn, and I did try it on in store. The medium is absolutely massive and really should be have a title of a large or an extra large. And the small is actually quite roomy. I think the small is more of a medium size and the mini is more of a small size. But I would love to get a small Givenchy Antigona in something like gray, beige, nude, something in that sort of a light neutral category. You know, the black is very pretty, but I find that because the bag is, and I really love plain bags with clean lines, I find the black is a bit much on it. And just, it doesn't really draw me in the way that kind of like a softer neutral does. And I have seen plenty of them on Fashionphile's website, you know, and others in the pre-loved market around the, say, $1,000 to $1,300 US dollar mark, depending on the condition, the color, etc. So the retail price on the Givenchy Antigona is about 3,150 Canadian dollars, which after some quick math brings us to approximately 2,200 US. So for me, knowing that it's available on the pre-loved market in reasonable condition, I mean, you know, it's never going to be perfect, but knowing that it's available in reasonable condition on the pre-loved market for let's say $1,200, and that the retail price is, you know, 1,200 US, and the retail price is 2,200 US. At that much of a price difference, at $1,000 difference, I would definitely be looking at the pre-loved market for one of those bags. And also they only release a certain number of colors every season, and personally I'm not too concerned about a color being in season. I'm concerned about colors that work with my wardrobe and look good with me. So I know like their nude bag is very pretty. Anything like, I'd love like a nice medium tone, like a pony brown, that'd be nice. Gray. I would even be willing to consider getting one as a pop of color, but only after I had gotten a couple other bags that are on my list. But I would love to get one of those. I think for my lifestyle, I think it would wear very well. Just, you know, I walk to the subway, I get on the subway, ride the subway to work, ride the subway back home. I love that it can be worn as a crossbody and that it has a nice firm zipper. And as someone who takes public transit a lot in the city to get where I'm going, I like having secure features like that no one can just slip their hand in my bag and take something. So that one has been something I've been definitely interested in for a while and would love to pick one up this year, but not in a rush, so we shall see. The next two bags on my kind of top 5 on my wish list are from one of my favorite brands, which is Louis Vuitton. So the first bag will be quicker to explain. So although they're in different spots on my list. But the first one I want to talk about is the Crosiette bag. That one comes in the Demi Ebene and the Demi Azur, and it's tough because I love the Azur. I love whites and creams. I do have the Favorite in the Demi Azur, so knowing that both the Crosiette and the Favorite are kind of a smallish smallish bag that can be worn crossbody, it'd be difficult to justify having both in that print. Although, if I'm being honest, I do think the Demi Azur is much prettier in that one, but it's also available in the Ebene, so if I was going to get it, I'd be strongly leaning towards the Azur, but I would really want to try both of them on and just really think through when I'd be wearing them. For example, I think the Demi Ebene is a beautiful fall print, whereas I much prefer the Azur in the summer. My favorite is my summer bag, and that retails for 2,900 Canadian. So if I was going to be getting one of those, again, unless I could find it pre-loved for, 40% off, I'd be looking at purchasing that new, just because I find that a lot of the pre-loved prices for Louis Vuitton pieces that are in good condition, you're only saving 100 or 200 bucks off of retail, and at that point I'd rather go into the boutique and have the whole experience. But that's just me, and kind of how I like to make those decisions. And the last one I want to talk about is the Louis Vuitton Speedy 30. So I have almost purchased that bag 3 times now, and I still really want it, and every time I almost buy it, I don't. So the first time I was going to buy it was a couple of years ago, and my husband, who was my boyfriend at the time, was just finishing up law school, and he had a couple of weeks in between finishing, or like a month or two or whatever, between finishing law school and starting as an articling student. And so we went to Europe, and we were really lucky at the time because we had lots of time. The job I had at the time had lots of time off. The only problem is we didn't really have a lot of money. And I'd been saving for this bag for a while, and we had planned a 2-week trip, and I said, you know what? Let's go for 1 more week. Let's do it. And he said he would go with me because he had time, but he didn't have money, so he would only go if I paid for the extension of the week. And I was like, deal. Are you kidding? Like, flight's already paid for. I'm just paying for a little bit of extra hotel, and through my blog I got some comped accommodation, so it wasn't that much more, but the way I paid for it was basically wiping out everything I had saved for the Louis Speedy 30 Bandlier. I'm only interested in the Bandlier because, again, as I discussed, I love crossbody bags. I like the zipper, and I just wouldn't find it very practical to have a bag that I can only carry with like little handles like this. So anyways, I liquidated my savings account, and we went to Nice, and we went to Paris, and we went to Monaco, and we drank a lot of rosé wine, and I have 0 regrets for picking a trip over a purse, because here I am in quarantine, and I could surround myself with all the purses I want, but I can't go to France. And I would make that choice 1,000 times over, because you can always save up more money and buy another purse, but you don't always have more time to travel. So the next time I almost bought that bag, I had walked in, and I was always sort of interested in the Favorite, and I kind of just asked the SA, like, do you have some favorites I can try on? And I tried some, and I said, you know, I like the Azur print. And she said, oh, we haven't had that in stock in a really long time, but I'll add you to my list, and I'll let you know what comes in. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, the reason I got to the store that day was to try on the Speedy 30, because my husband was going to purchase it for me as a gift. And I just wanted to try it on one more time before we pulled the trigger. And so I go home, and I'm all pumped to get my Speedy 30, but the Favorite was sort of dancing in my mind, and the Favorite was cheaper. And so the SA texted me a couple days later, and says, hey, actually we have the Favorite in stock in the Demi Azur. Do you want it? And I was like, okay, do I get it? Or do I get it? And I really thought about it, and I was like, yeah, you know what? Let's get that one. They're always gonna have the Speedy 30. So that was the second time I almost bought it. And then the third time, my husband and I got married last year, and my wedding anniversary is 5 days after my birthday. So the deal we made was that I would get married on May 4th with the understanding that birthday and anniversary gifts were never to be combined unless the gift was really, really good. And so we had talked about getting me the Speedy 30. And then I was just scrolling through Fashionphile and I saw this absolutely stunning Lady Dior bag, which I will review and do an unboxing for. And it was for $1,500 US, which is, you know, give or take about the same price that the Speedy 30 Bandlier is, for a bag that normally retails for $5,000. And it was gorgeous. And that was just a no-brainer because, again, I'll always be able to get the Speedy 30. So that's the 3 times I almost got the Speedy 30. I do think I'll get it this year or next year. And I'm really grateful I actually don't have it right now because I keep on flip-flopping on the print. But I think I'll probably get it in the monogram, which is kind of funny for me. I never really saw myself as a monogram girl, but I think it would look really cute in the fall. I don't really have a luxury fall bag right now, and I do think that it would look good in the fall but carry well throughout the year. And then I have my favorite in the Azure, and then I could get the Crosiette in the Damier bin. So that's sort of what I'm thinking, so I can have a little bit of every print. But in a perfect world, I would have the Speedy 30 in every print. So those are the 5 bags that are on my wish list, and sort of a little bit about the rationale on why. So I'd love to hear down in the comments below what bags you're interested in right now, what's on your wish list, and what are you doing to stay sane during these crazy times. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this as a fun little video, and I can't wait to see you guys down in the comments below. If you haven't already subscribed, please do, and if you like talking about luxury makeup and luxury purses, I'll leave some videos over here that you guys can check out, and we can keep up the conversation. So anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye. Mwah.